Taurus, hi. Am I live now? Taurus, hi. Taurus. Virgo. Virgo, hi. Welcome to your live tarot reading. Excuse me again with the shaky camera and the shuffling. You guys are just gonna have to deal with till I get my studio set up. Um, as you all know, I just bought a new home. I'm renovating it. I'm gonna have a nice freaking studio to do the nice production with all the music that you guys like. You know, I'm a Leo. You know how I do it, Virgo. You know how I do it. Um, these are general tarot readings. Next week, we'll go back into your astrology. If I do the astrology every week, it's just repetitive stuff of things that are going on. Like you guys already know that Mercury, your first house lord, coming out of retrograde, it's in shadow. Knight of Wands. Woo! That's a pretty hot card. Your challenge is Two of Cups. Okay. Cat here on my laptop. All right. Well, let's see the mess you got going on here. I feel like saying you have a mess going on here. Um, you sure do have a mess going on here. Knight of Wands, two challenges, Two of Cups. What is it with the Earth signs? That Mercury retrograde hit you guys hard because look, you get the same card that Taurus got, but it's your challenge card, and there is a symbol of Mercury here with the symbol of Leo as well, which Mercury was retrograded in Leo. That would be your 12th house of overseas, and it could be dealing with people at a long distance, maybe if you're dealing with that type thing. But other than that, let's get to your tarot read. We'll go over your astrology next week. Um, your energy here is very spicy. I like it. The challenge is Two of Cups, though. Somebody to match that spicy energy of yours. Um, while you're here at the read here, you're showing me that you want something besides spicy because it seems like you keep getting the spicy McChicken sandwich. Eventually, you're going to want a Big Mac. Insert McDonald's sponsor. They wouldn't sponsor me. I cuss and talk about sex too much. But insert um, the Big Mac because the McChicken's getting old here for you. Here in the past, Temperance, it seems like you've been waiting a long time for something here to kind of pop off with relationships or, you know, with work, friendship, or whatever's going on here. Wherever here you're here at the read, you definitely hear about a person or something related to those aspects in your life. And it's showing me here that you've been waiting a while for some sort of results here. Your strength is Five of Cups, being able to walk away from your past and go to the new things. So that's a good thing. Most of the signs, most of the signs, other than you, Virgo, have a hard ass time um, letting go of things. It just seems like you guys could just throw something in the trash and move on to the next piece of trash. That's the title? That's the title of this read. Moving on to the next piece of trash. All right, because your strength is showing me that you're. I'm not trying to put you in that energy of moving towards trash. No, but I do think this is the energy, your strength. It's showing me that you're able to recognize trash and you're able to turn around and find the good stuff. You know, usually this in that position, this is a negative connotation. It's a 5, and he's looking at the spilled cups, but it's showing me your strength, meaning that you're able to kind of turn around. And you guys know I'm not the fluff astrologer, I'm not the fluff tarot card reader. I call it as I see it. That's the strength position. So that's good. The universe is hiding something from you here, though. However, you got an extra card here. Yeah, you're cheating. You got an extra card here. The universe is hiding something for you, and it could be in the form of a partner. a very emotional, mature, mentally matured person, emotionally matured person. And if that's what you're looking for, that's certainly on its way here, but it's being hidden from you for a very good reason. Now, I did mention that a lot of the signs have trouble of letting go of things. Now, is to be said for the sign of Leo in your chart if you're a Virgo rising, right? So Leo would be your 12th, your natural 12th house. I'm not saying it's easy for all Virgos to let go of the past, but it's easier because it's such a sun sign, right? It's not a sign of like that belongs to Saturn, right? So where things may be a little more difficult to let go of. Um, I do feel that you may be dealing with a future energy that has problems letting go of their past. That they're coming with a little bit of baggage, but that's okay because emotionally they've matured because of that. So if you're a guy, especially if you're a guy and you're like, man, she's got too much baggage, and you're not trying to connect to that, I'd actually try to connect to that because this person's actually matured because of that. Um, Now, if they come with an EBT card and six other kids with them, and then maybe you should run. Just kidding. No, no, just kidding. I've been watching these reels about single moms. I don't know why it keeps coming up in my reels, my algorithm. Anyways, but maybe that's a thing for a male Virgo out there, my Virgo rising. All right. Your advice is the devil. Live a little. I feel like this has something to do with Capricorn working, a lot of working for you. This is also, Capricorn would be your fifth house, I believe. Yeah. So, live a little, enjoy the romantic things. Maybe you need somebody to chain you down to the bed here. Um, Devil spelled backwards is lived. So, enjoy, have a little fun, and try to connect to people. Enjoy that devil energy. Hmm. Not saying, go out drinking and driving and go, get caught by the cops and resist arrest and end up with a felony. Not saying that. I'm just saying go live your life. And if you slap it, wrap it, baby. But have a good time. Maybe you're missing a lot of that due to work situations and circumstances. Virgo, you're one of the signs too, astrologically. You're going through a lot of work changes, and I believe the eclipse might change things with your 10th and 4th. I don't know. Your 1st and 7th. Virgo. Leo. No, no. I was going to say your 2nd, but Leo would be your 12th. So it would be moving towards Leo. Nope. But, maybe since 2023, you've had career and home changes and things like that. So maybe because of those career changes and the eclipse is happening there in the 2nd house, maybe you've just been overly tied up with work there. All right. Now, for your hopes and fears, options, you have a lot of options coming up. So why would you be afraid of a lot of options? Well, but you're afraid of letting go of one piece of trash for, another piece of trash, perhaps, kind of like what your strength was showing me. Um, Now, for your future outcome, you drew one card, but for some reason, two cards came out. I left two cards. They're both fours. So 11, 11, 11, 11, if you believe in science, but this is binary code here, maybe for you. For some of you computer geniuses, let me know what that binary code is. Is it even binary? I don't know. Um, but it's showing me your future outcome through a lot of healing, a lot of time on your own here. There's a happy ending. Um, or maybe that's just you coming out of a time of um, self reflection and to a time of reflecting on another person. So, maybe if things aren't popping off in relationships, this has just been a time of self reflection, moving into a time of reflecting on other people and being able to provide for people as well. That's a very abundant card. I think a lot of people refer to that card as the marriage card. Yeah, but it's 4 of wands, and that 4 of wands Sure enough, becomes a Five of Wands. Sure enough, becomes a 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And it's a very heavy burden. And we got to remember relationships is something you got to carry. And if this reading's going out to somebody who's like avoidant for relationships too, I could see that. I could very much see that your strength would come out as this, especially if you're avoidant to relationships. If you're avoidant, I'll tell you right now, the universe is going to keep shoving those things in your face for you to continually avoid these situations until you decide, hey, I'm not going to avoid anymore. Especially if you're showing up to a tarot read and you're avoidant, that's a little weird. Like, why would you even care? So I don't know if that's for somebody. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. Let's take this apart. And I'm going to pull 3 cards for your advice for this week for the Virgo when it comes to friends, family, relationships, work, however this resonated for you. That Ace of Wands just popped out. So some of you might actually be sexually avoidant as well. Asexual. I feel that. Here I am trying to get toxic in your read, and you're not allowing me to be toxic in your reading. So let's see what your advice is. Knight of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, well, your advice is simple. Just keep working. If that's what makes you happy, keep working. Keep holding down that energy. Nothing's really forcing you out of not doing anything. When maybe I take back what I said, that the universe is going to keep presenting you options, but you can keep curving it. You can keep curving those options, sure. Or if you're just wondering why something doesn't present itself, well, it's because you're too busy with work. So there's like 2 sets of people here with 2 very different situations. And I've gotten this comment before. It's like, oh yeah, there would be a group A and B because you're kind of bending the reed. Like, I'm not bending the reed. It's just that, right, this could just go very well for 2 sets of people as well as 6 different people, but I only see 2 different stories here, not 6, 8, 10, 12 different stories. I see 2 stories here. I see the story of someone that's a hard worker and maybe doesn't have time for the bullshit. I like that. And then I see somebody that's avoidant. Somebody doesn't have the time for the bullshit because they're avoiding relationships. So the universe is saying, well, look, I got this for you. Eventually, when you show that you're interested in something, that's when things stop coming your way. Once you show your interest, and you know that. That's possibly why you're avoidant, And that's something that I can't fix. That's something that the make-believe universe or spaghetti monsters can't fix for you. That's something that maybe you have to go to an actual therapist for, And I think a lot of astrologers and tarot card readers are too afraid to tell you that because they want to get your money or something, or cleanse you or steal your cash. I'll tell you right up, if you're in my reading, you're talking some crazy bullshit, I'll tell you right away, like, hey, I'll mail you your money back. You need a therapist, not a reader. So somebody here's giving me therapist vibes. And I'm not saying that's all of you. I'm just saying that if there is somebody here that's avoidant, maybe that's something to look into. And a therapist isn't a bad thing. And I've been told I need a therapist, and I was like, "You're crazy!" Like telling me I need a therapist, and that's just because I've had a slew of therapists after the war, and they all sucked. And sorry, I'm going over your time because it's about over. I just want to make these 12 minutes, but for a therapy, what worked for me was firing therapists until I found the right therapist. I found a therapist that could talk astrology with me, because it was perfect. When I was talking with them, they would say, well, there's actually a good transit coming up. How is that hitting your chart? And I'd be like, well, it's hitting here and here. They're like, well, maybe you should take a trip. And it was cool because they could vibe with me on a mental level, and they didn't look at me like a nut job. They looked at me like actual, like my spiritual belief was valid in this world, and that doesn't make me a nut job, and that had nothing to do with the war. And that actually helps with the Stoic principles of the astrology, right? The unchangeable. So maybe some of you do need a therapist, and maybe that requires that whole getting rid of it, right? That energy of being able to walk away from things. So if you do require a therapist, just realize it's like finding a relationship. You're going to have to fire a lot of them to find the right one. And hopefully you get lucky and just find the right one that you need, okay? I'm going to end the read here. I hope you guys like that. And I'll be back next week with your astrology, Virgo. Take it easy. I love you guys. Bye.